Hello, this is Cityscape, a regular vodcast featuring people, place, and ideas that impact Livonia. I'm Dan West with the Livonia Chamber of Commerce. Today we meet a Livonian who turned a favor for a friend when he was a teenager into a successful business enterprise that serves venues all across southeastern Michigan. Wayne Kinney, a 1995 graduate of Livonia Stevenson High School, started his high school career at Clarenceville. He was asked to DJ for a friend's wedding in 1994. He loved the experience so much that it became the foundation for Rock Out Entertainment, a company which he incorporated in 2002. He grew his DJ business while studying at the Specs Howard School of Media Arts and eventually expanded into an event production company with a team of professionals that provide a variety of resources to support thousands of weddings and corporate events. And he continues to grow his expertise from here in his hometown. Now, Wayne Kinney joins us today from the Livonia Italian American Club, where he's doing some wedding demonstrations today. Wayne, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, pleasure, Dan. Thanks for having me, really.
Wayne, tell me about what it was like growing up for you here in Livonia.
Well, I'm continuing to grow here. I mean, that's where my family is now. Sure. It's funny, right? It's the family coming through Windsor, my mom's side of the family, and the Kinney side, my father's side, were already here in Livonia, and that's where my parents met. Bentley graduates, the 74 Bulldogs, and growing up in Livonia, not far from where my parents grew up, and then aspiring to this west side of Livonia has been really just the path of the righteous. Like, it's been the best thing for us as a family, my wife and our son. It's not a strange place to grow our business or live. Like, it just seems so familiar and perfect, and we're doing that. We're growing, like I said.
So, what'd you do as a kid when you were here?
My brothers and I, there's three of us, Kinney brothers, and we've always played sports, very active with our family outings. Being an Italian-American family, we had a lot of weddings and communions to go to as kids, not only our own, but we were celebrities in our own families. We had so many kids, cousins, so we always had something to do. But at the hometown, we had a great corner lot. My brothers and I would be the T-ball hosts. We remember painting chalk lines with chlorine from the neighbor's pool. Our mom wasn't very happy about that when they came home and the grass was dead, but we had a permanent ballpark the whole summer. That was pretty cool.
Well, a good segue into that first wedding you DJ'd in 1994. You were asked to do that. Tell me about the charge you got out of doing that, and obviously what it meant for what you went into.
No, certainly. Dan, it is a charge. Like, I remember the day, like it was just yesterday, taking on my first big event with my company. Building a brand from energy and person that I am is really what that first wedding was. It was the spark. 94 was a junior year in high school, and went out with my uncle and his cousin's wedding, or a friend, cousin. So there's a relationship there that maybe made me feel pretty warm. It wasn't a cold room, so I don't want to build too much faith in what I was doing at that age. I definitely learned a lot. But with that, ripe age of 16 or 17, picking out cassette tapes with my uncle, some small 45s were still a part of it then, if you could believe it, and plucking out the playlist. And that's what I was always good at, is reading the room. And if a disco hit was hitting with the guests, I knew exactly where to go to. So I had a lot of that knowledge, like, even then, and that's what I remember. It's like just being empowered by, like, what I knew and what it felt like, and to be used, like, to be able to use it.
So you felt like you belonged doing what you're doing, and you said, I can be good at this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was just really an eye-opening thing that I hope a lot of young people find that, that little energy in something they do, and don't quit on that. And that's what really just kept sparking the next thing,
Now, you look back at today's teenagers, everything's on a device right now. Right. But when you started the 1990s, you had to haul cassettes and CDs and albums and your sound equipment all over the place.
No, it was bands had always the equipment, but DJing wasn't anything short of the performance then, logistically. We probably got ourselves definitely a lot easier function, but logistically. But we're still doing this great function in, the labor of love. But back then, it was labor, and it was intense. So for this small setup we have here, a four-walled booth with some laptops and hard drives giving us thousands of music within a small space, we used to have a backline, we call it, with a table. And that would be these crates of CDs, which we'd have to invest in, wooden crates, wheels, dollies. It was nuts. And I still have some of these dolly carts. And I was a fan favorite of the CD clubs, and so I would just subscribe, and then it just kept building my bank of music. But I don't miss lugging that stuff around.
I can imagine it was a workout. It was your workout, right? Hauling that stuff around.
I was exhausted. So you'd load in a job 2 hours early, where we are, we're early on events, but we don't have to be in such a labored rush, and sweating. So it's a lot easier. Thank goodness.
Talk about the transition from hauling those CDs and all that equipment around in a car to growing into a production company and a team of professionals. Talk about that transition and some of the breaks that went your way along the way.
It certainly was a transition of technology bringing us into a production. To be able to afford or maybe be competitive back then, I probably did luck out, because I can imagine the guys that ran companies from the 60s, then went to 70s, they always were investing in some large commitments where we can be pretty sleek and slim and offer a service pretty quick. Our knowledge is the power. The equipment is very, obtainable. We have a lot of, DIYers that do have the right gear, but their knowledge isn't there. So that's where the transition for us was just a lot sleeker. So we travel lighter, but we're doing bigger and quicker work. You don't have to render things down. You don't have to upload monster files or essentially, downgrade. So the digital age is great, but knowing what we came from, where I was educated at Specs Howard even, our first recordings were cutting film, cutting the actual reels to edit. And it was, I guess, to give you that feeling, just like making a sauce, we physically put the ingredients into the work. It wasn't just out of a can.
What does it take, from your perspective, to know you delivered a good quality experience for a party or for a wedding?
I guess in short is the gratification of knowing you gave your all and watching it received is awesome. When you have family and friends that are in the biggest day of their lives, sharing in this moment, and then we're invited to entertain that for weddings, it's awesome. I'm a romantic. I enjoy it. I'm not desensitized. I don't deliver the same thing every weekend, nor are the guys that have been working with me for years now that I'm able to contract and have a part of the team. And then the corporate side, that emotion still transfers very, very, I'm particular about that. Like, I will never let that go, even with a corporate client. So if there's a person in the front office who's in charge of that $10,000 event, that budget, or maybe it's somebody overseas that sends us in a request for proposal, it's just making sure that we meet their needs, and then that gratification of like, we did a good job is the best.
It sounds like from either 1994 or 2023, it comes down to reading and reacting the room. That's really the magic sauce. Yeah. I think no matter what the technology is, it's your ability to read the room, right?
Exactly. The technology and the equipment get you so far, but the personality goes a long way. I mean, we have opportunity to be competitive, or to compete against, I should say, companies that have the same monikers, the same things we're doing: audio, visual, events, production, but the emotion is removed when it becomes pretty cookie cut. I'm trying to build a bigger business, but I still want to keep our hands on things. It's just how I'm that's the way I am. I can't get away from it emotionally, and I won't let it.
So. Well, Wayne, congratulations on the success you've had so far. What, 800 plus weddings, 700 plus corporate events, exactly. And plans to grow more this year.
Certainly, yeah. So, we have a lot of fun stuff to do, and we should get a selfie.
Absolutely. We can definitely do that afterwards here. But let me say goodbye to you. We thank everyone for watching this edition of Cityscape. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.